Okay, now we're going to talk about shooting. Shooting form is vital to the success of a basketball player, especially at a young age. If we can teach players to shoot properly, their success on into their middle school, high school, and so on, it's going to be a lot higher. If they're still shooting with two hands as 6th, 7th grade basketball players, they're going to really struggle. So it's important that we really hammer home these details. In your packet, you've got a shooting fundamentals checklist. We're just going to go through that here in this video to give you an idea of what exactly we mean. We're going to start at the feet and work our way all the way up to the end of the shot. Brock's going to help us out with this. First of all, your shooting foot, it needs to be one instep ahead of your non-shooting foot. So your instep's right here. Brock's going to step in. Okay, his right hand is his shooting arm, so his right foot's going to be just a little bit ahead of his left foot. Okay, his balance is going to be on the balls of his feet. We don't want to be back on our heels. We don't want to be up on our toes. Okay, we want to have a good center of balance where we can move back and forth if we need to. Okay, he's going to bend his knees to get power. Okay, most of the power from your shot comes from your legs. If you don't have any knee bend here, you're going to really struggle to get a shot up. His knees and his toes here, when he's bending his knees, are going to be in line. Okay, we don't want to get in a situation where we've got a shooter with his knees in real tight like this, or his knees out like that. Okay, we want the knees and the toes to be in line as we shoot. Also with that, his heels as he's shooting, his heels, his hips, and his shoulders need to be in line. Okay, if you've got a shooter that likes to shoot fadeaway shots, you can see the shoulders not in line here with the hips because we're fading away as we shoot. Okay, so to make sure we're on balance, our heels, our hips, and our shoulders need to be in line. Okay, now onto the upper body, our eyes, we need to see the target, so our eyes are going to snap to the basket, okay, as we shoot. We're going to take that ball, go ahead and get it in our shooting pocket. Make sure your elbow stays in. Okay, a lot of shooters when they're young shoot with their elbow out here. Okay, if your elbow's out here, you're going to push the ball to one side or the other, so you have to make sure that your elbow is almost straight up and down as we shoot here. Okay, your elbow angle, okay, as you're shooting here, we want to make sure that this angle is less than 90 degrees as a shooter. Okay, so we're up. Right here, less than 90 degrees. We don't want it to be way out here. Okay, we want it to be cocked back, ready to shoot. Okay, your wrist as we shoot. If you're right-handed, your right hand's going to be underneath the ball. Okay, your wrist is cocked back with the ball sitting on top of it. So we've got our C here, a C form. Okay, put the ball on the pads of your fingers. Okay, for those of you who are unfamiliar. Your fingertips are up here. Obviously, this is your palm. Your pads are the area here, kind of in your knuckle area. That's where you're going to control the basketball. That's where you want the ball to sit. There should be a little bit of light between your hand and the basketball. If there's no light, that means we're holding it on our palms too much. If there's a lot of light, that means we're holding it up on our fingertips. Okay? Our non-shooting hand is a helper hand only. That means it stays on the side of the ball. And as we go up to shoot here, it stays on the side when we go through, okay? If you've got a kid that's shooting with the thumb, that means they're pushing the ball. If they're shooting two-handed, they're pushing the ball, okay? So we want to get our shooting hand underneath the basketball, and our non-shooting hand is a helper hand here on the side, okay? Make sure, again, there's space between the ball and your palm. Okay, now your shooting path, as you go up into your shot, we've got you set here into good shooting form. Brock, go ahead and get into good shooting form. We've got his feet right, his elbows in, we're ready to go. His shot path needs to follow a straight path. Okay, you don't want to have a shooter that brings the ball in as they shoot. Again, that gives us side-to-side motion. We're here and we need to draw a straight line with our elbow as we shoot here and as we go up the follow through. So our shot path needs to be in a straight line. We need to follow through and reach into the cookie jar, okay? And when you follow through, you're going to snap your wrist through hard and reach into the cookie jars like there's a cookie jar up on the shelf that we can't quite reach. We're up on our toes and we're trying to reach in and get those cookies, okay? Make sure, lastly, you either extend up onto your toes or into a jump, okay? When you're doing form shooting, it might just be up onto your toes, okay? But it also may be boom, into a jump as we shoot. Brock, go ahead and do a little bit of form shooting here for us. Okay, nice and easy. Make sure we've got a good pace. We don't want to rush as we do our form shooting here. We want to take our time, make sure that our feet are right, our elbows in, okay, we're doing everything properly. Lastly, I want you to keep in mind, beef, okay, beef. Balance, make sure you're on balance. We're not leaning one way, we're not leaning the other way, okay, we're not falling backwards or falling forward. We're on balance. Our eyes, the E, eyes are on the target, okay, on the target. Elbow is the second E, okay, keep your elbow in at a young age. The elbow is extremely important. And then follow through is your F, okay, so beef, balance, eyes, elbow, follow through. The first drill that we're going to work on in shooting is form shooting inside 5 feet. Most of you that have younger players, you want to really focus on making sure they're shooting with one hand. So when you start doing this drill, they again want to really take their time, make sure their feet are set right, they've got their elbow in. But what we teach players is go ahead and hold that ball out on their hand, okay, get their feet set, and then snap it here into position, keeping their off hand down. And then just go up and shoot one-handed. Sean's going to show us what that looks like. Okay? Go ahead and keep going, Sean. As you do this, the players can move around some. They can move to each side, right and left side, still shooting with their strong hand. We want to not use the backboard in this drill. Really focus on one-handed shooting, following through, putting into the cookie jar, those type of aspects. As the player gets older and they're more comfortable shooting one-handed, you can add in the second hand. When you do that, again, make sure it's just a helper hand. They come up and they come through as they shoot. Sean, go ahead and show us that. Okay, again, that off hand here, Sean's left hand is just a helper hand. He's not using it to push that ball at all. Okay, the next shooting drill we're going to do is form shooting from the back. This one we're not worried about shooting the ball through the basket as a target. We're really focusing on our form. We're going to have our shooter lay on their back like DJ is here, and then we're going to have our rebounder, who's going to be Micah. This guy will chase any balls that go off in weird directions because we're not shooting properly. When you do this drill, you want to make sure that your elbow is real tight to the body when you're laying here on your back. Push out and through. This is a one-handed drill. I don't like to have my players put their second hand up, again, to really focus on shooting one-handed and shooting properly. This could be done right and left-handed. Again, another great drill for your players that may be a little bit weak left-handed. Now, when you do this, if you're following through too much when you shoot, the ball is going to go flying over your head. So DJ shows one of those. Okay? If you're falling through too much, that means you need to push a little bit more. Now, if you're pushing too much and not falling through, DJ show us one of those, the ball's going to go down towards your feet, okay? Ideally, in this situation, we want this ball to come off DJ's hand, straight up, and come right back down. Again, this isn't about power. If the ball comes up this high, that's fine, as long as we're trying to stay in this straight line. It's not about who can get the ball the highest. It's about who can be consistently bringing that ball up and down off their hand, okay? And the ball actually is staying in a straight line. We don't want it pushing or coming over DJ's head here. So DJ's going to show us a few of these right-handed. Okay, nice and easy. We want to take our time, get the ball set, push it through, get it set two-handed, and then pull that second hand off. Again, you can do this left-handed. DJ's going to show us some left-handed as well. Those of you coaches that really want to focus on creating players that are strong with both hands, this is a great drill to strengthen both the left and the right hand.